Hello everyone, welcome to the Cordros Wealth Lounge. My name is Koforola. I lead the private wealth team here at Cordros. With me here is Adenike and Rejubi, my colleagues. Adenike, over to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Adenike Ogunyale and I head the Mass Affluent Sales Team at Cordros Asset Management Limited.
Hi everyone, my name is Rejubi Asik. I'm a wealth advisor at Cordros Asset Management.
Today we have someone very special to us. Our special guest is Bethia Idoko. Welcome, Bethia. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much. Bethia is an accomplished real estate consultant. She's also the head of business development at Giddy Traffic. Bethia is someone that is very enthusiastic about traveling, and she has been to 63 countries and 22 states within Nigeria. And today we'll be hearing from Bethia. She'll be sharing her experiences about travel and tourism. So over to you, Bethia. Tell us more about yourself.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. We're talking today about travel, tourism, which is my favorite part, or the best part of my life, if you ask me. Has to be. So of course, I like the real estate part. That brings the money for the travels. I like my business development job at Giddy Traffic because that also pays the bills. But I think the most fun part of my life and the part of my life I'm most excited about is traveling. I would be too.
I definitely relate to that.
So yeah, I love to travel a lot. It's something that I've always loved to do or wanted since I was much younger. But then I didn't get the chance to for many reasons. And then eventually when I was done with university, actually, was when I got the chance to start traveling. And it's been really nice. I found that it's more interesting to actually visit the places you see either in encyclopedias, because back then that was it for me. It wasn't the very savvy social media age now where you get everything. When I got the chance to and eventually started traveling, it was a whole new different ball game, whole new feeling, different experience, and it's been really amazing.
Let me cut you there. So 63 countries. So when did you start keeping tabs? When did you start counting?
So I think I started counting when I got on Instagram.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So at what number were you at the time?
That time, I think it must have been maybe about 15. Actually.
Wow.
So
yes.
how long did that take to get to 15?
That didn't take very long because I started traveling in 2007.
Okay.
That's long.
The first country I went was Kuwait, actually.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just the first country I went to. It's the country I have stayed the longest in till date. It wasn't.
Are you about to tell us what took you there?
Yeah. Okay, so I have a sister, and at the time she's a U.S. diplomat, and at the time she was serving in Kuwait, and she was expecting her first baby.
Oh.
And it coincided with the time when I was done from school.
Okay.
So
It was just the perfect timing.
It was just perfect. So it was like, oh, we need you. I'm like, I'm not I say, I'm here for you. So I went over 3 months before her baby.
Okay.
And then I stayed 3 months after her baby.
Wow.
And then I came back to Nigeria. It was
What was your experience there like?
First of all, there's a lot of culture shock.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we talk about this enough.
Okay.
I don't care who you are. If it's your first time in some places, you will have the Osofia in London experience. I had a lot of those Osofia in London experiences.
Okay.
But then I'm a very fast learner, very, very quick. So the 6 months I spent there, I learned a lot. And now it's Kuwait, and you might wonder, okay, well, is it not too restrictive or is it not? Oh, no.
Are you serious?
No.
Wow.
So when I came back, it was, okay, now it's time to see the rest of the world. And I did not even waste any time at all.
True.
So when was your next trip after that?
It was London.
That's pretty basic.
So you've been to 63 countries. and 22 states within Nigeria.
Yep.
So just share like some of your experiences with us, like with regards to countries you've been. You could just mention a few, and then the states you've been within Nigeria.
Oh,
Your
just
worst culture shocks as well. Interesting experiences.
Okay. Interesting experiences. One comes to mind really quickly. But within Nigeria, I would say the best place I visited that inside my own country, I opened my mouth wide. Like my mouth was open
Wow.
for a long time on that trip.
I can't wait.
Drum roll. Obudu Cattle Ranch.
Really?
Yes, I've heard so much about that place.
I promise you that whatever you heard cannot do Obudu justice.
No way.
I promise you, whatever you
But can
heard.
I ask, is it still the same today? Because I know there's been a lot of, news
These are
around
the
it.
issues. So currently, I hear that it's not open.
Oh,
They're trying to
yeah.
reopen it. And at the time I went, this was shortly after COVID.
Okay. Recently.
Yes.
Okay.
They were like reopening again.
Oh, wow.
See, I promise you,
Wow.
Obudu is amazing. My pictures from Obudu till today.
I think I saw some of it on your
yeah,
Instagram.
people were like, stop
I'm
lying.
going to check it out.
I saw some real
Because you know you
pictures.
have traveled again now, you are lying. Which kind of Obudu? I said, I'm in Nigeria.
No way.
The weather, first off,
Yes,
in all
yes,
their
yes, yes,
rooms,
it's
they don't
cool.
have air conditioners.
Exactly.
Just heaters.
Yes. And then they have a
Is
fireplace
it
or
cold
something in every room.
all through the year there?
Pretty much. So they have
Yes.
seasons that is kind of like less cold, but it will be cold and foggy, extremely foggy.
It's because it's in
It
the
gets to a
mountains,
point,
yeah.
if you're not a local, you can't even attempt to drive because you can't see.
Whoa.
But their eyes have adapted to the place because I mean,
They're
they live
conversant
there.
with it, yeah.
Obudu is beautiful on
my
every
goodness.
level. At some point, it was almost like I was in Hawaii.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. That weather, I'm not sure I have the right.
Oh, I know. Because you mostly did not see it, the landscape
don't
most
see
of the
it,
time.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Obudu weather is unique to Obudu.
Wow.
That place is magical. Being in Obudu was an experience. I didn't believe I was still in Nigeria.
Are you serious?
Yes, Obudu is amazing. You see the clouds? It's like you're walking on the same level as the clouds. The clouds are kissing the mountains, literally.
Way. Wow.
In
That
this
must have been
our
an
Nigeria.
experience.
Yeah, it was.
So, any other destination internationally, especially? Which one is your best?
Internationally, it's really hard to pick a best. I mean, it's a lot. So sometimes I think this is the best, and then I go to another country.
I know.
And then
I
you're
just
always
that does the other.
But one place that really did it for me is Tanzania.
Really?
Zanzibar? No way.
I'm
Okay.
telling you.
Okay.
So there's the Zanzibar there's the Zanzibar that is the tourist Zanzibar that everybody goes to. But there's also the Zanzibar that like tour guides that have been there for a while can take you to. Now these are not the ones a lot of people go to for many reasons.
So what was your experience there? What did you see?
There was this place called the Secret Beach that, as a matter of fact, was only discovered, I think, after Corona
Okay.
was when it was
recent.
discovered. Very recent. If you see this place, I know I've not gone to heaven before.
Talking about adventures, right? I like to think that I'm an adventurous person, even though I don't know, I haven't learned my lesson yet. But I hope I do not. So sometime I found myself in Mexico, and
nice.
we had to Cancun to be precise.
Ooh.
And then they were like, "Oh yeah, there's this waterfall, you can go." And then we went to the waterfall, and then there was this cave, an underground river.
Yes!
And they were like, it's a 2-kilometer swim. You guys will have to swim all around, and then you have to drop your stuff in it safe and all of that. And I was like, yes, let's do this. We wore our life jackets, our the swimming, the flippers, and then we went on. And then I started to ask myself this question. I'm like, what exactly are you doing? And then this what happens in horror movies. It was dark.
I know.
We had some, to some extent, and then we saw bats.
Yes.
And it became so scary.
Yes.
And well, you can come out at some point. But I was like, no, I started it, I must finish it.
I must finish.
You know, and then when I got to the end, I was like, wow,
Yep.
that was some dangerous thing I did back then. But I don't know if I'm going to do it again.
Yeah,
but
that
that's
about
about
jumping,
skydiving.
skydiving.
I cannot.
So it's tangent.
What if the
first of
parachute
all.
doesn't work?
Wow. And this is the thing. If you think about all these things, then there's so many things you won't do.
Exactly.
So many. One thing that I don't think a lot of people have realized, when you see people do these things that are termed dangerous, oh, they're so bold.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
They
At least
are.
not me.
Okay.
Bethia, bold.
Everyone thinks that.
I'm
But you realize,
your videos on Instagram.
but I'm afraid when I'm doing those things.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. The only difference between me and another person, I would say, is I do it regardless of whether or not I'm afraid. I still want to see it. I want to experience it. But it's not as if I'm not afraid. There's no way I can say, they opened the door of the plane. You are seeing
The
that,
skies.
And then you just
25,000 feet above
and you will not be afraid.
And especially after you've paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I did my own at the desert part. I did it in Dubai. So in
Oh.
Dubai, they have the one you do over the Palm Jumeirah, and then one you do in the desert. Now, I went for the desert part when I went.
I
Yes.
agree.
For me now, I can't swim. Swimming is something I really wanted to do because I feel like there are so many places you go to that, you know, you just need to just soak yourself into the water and, you know, different things. But because of fear, I've just been saying, oh, I can't swim. Oh, I cannot do this. I
Can you
cannot do
swim?
this. So
Yeah.
a lot of
I can't
people,
swim.
you should actually come out
can't be an
of fear,
adventurous
come out
person
of
and
your
not swim.
comfort zone,
Yes.
and
I'm
enjoy
trying to
the
be adventurous. I'm
experience.
very
Exactly.
safe.
If you're
Experience
adventurous,
life.
you will know how to swim.
I think that's it.
That's pretty much what it is. Like you said, there's everything to be afraid of, honestly. And sometimes if you add a reason, you will never do some things. But then again, we still have to live an experience
You have
one
to
way or
experience
another.
life. True.
You know, wait and say, well, okay, well, hopefully, let it not be me that will die today.
Yeah, exactly.
People did not die.
Okay, so when we started, you mentioned about like traveling with the Nigerian passport. I know the Nigerian passport allows access to about 45 countries visa free. So how do you do it? Like apply with your Nigerian passport. How do you get visas to some of these countries?
Okay.
What has your experience been so far?
So, especially at the initial point, I just told you, my UK visa, first 2 times it was denied, you know, and then the 3rd time it was approved, which was the second, for the Kuwaiti visa. My sister, they did everything for me. I just went. I mean, they lived and they worked there at the time. But that UK one was the first time I had to apply for a visa properly. And, you know, so that initial time of travel, it's difficult. But for me, what I'll always say is research as much as possible and talk to people who have gone ahead of you, people who have been there before, because they can give you some really useful information that might be what is standing between your acceptance or your denial, which I did a lot. Like I did a lot of that. However, you can still be very surprised along the line. Now, if you built a good travel history like I have, then it's really difficult for any embassy or high commission to deny you, because the real reason they deny you, one of them is they don't want you to go there and not come back. Like as you are going, be coming back home. You know, that will be hard for anyone to think that I'm not going and coming.
Yeah, because you've been to so many places.
I've been to so many and I've been back. However, like I said, some countries would disgrace you.
I know.
More difficult.
I know.
If I say it, you will never believe it. Never.
South Africa.
Tanzania.
No.
This Tanzania that I'm loving like this.
Yes. But Tanzania does e-visa. I'm just wondering why it would be so much
there's
hassle.
something called a calling visa. You know, they can
calling visa.
visa and make it sound like it's the easiest thing. But Tanzania is a calling visa, which means on your own, you can't get up and decide to apply and go to Tanzania. No.
Are you serious?
No.
So how does it
on
work?
local, someone in Tanzania has to endorse you.
No way.
Yes. Like, okay, I know her, she's coming. She's going to be with me. Or she'll be well behaved. You haven't even heard the worst. She'll be well behaved, you know, that kind of stuff. Then they will consider you. But I mean, I felt like a badass.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I've been traveling.
I know.
At the time when I applied to Tanzania, which was last year, I had been to 51 countries.
Wow.
Tanzania was going to be country number 52, so I was proud.
Oh yes, you should be.
There was pride in the system.
Oh yeah, I don't see why
And
not.
for me, I'm like, okay, well, let me apply. So I started. Most of these visas, I do them by myself. If you research, you can do it yourself. So I felt like I was researched enough. I mean, it's Tanzania. I see people going there all the time. So I didn't think it was an issue. But in the process of applying, at one point, they gave me a handbag. Like, you will need a local to kind of like endorse you, give you a letter or something like that. So I'm like, so these people that have been going, how are they doing it? Then I called an agent I know, and he was like, oh, it's a calling visa. I can have it sorted for you. I said, okay, how much? He told me, and I sent him the money. But when he started the process, it just wasn't working, you know. First application, it was denied. I said, why? He said, that the company he reached out to that said they were going to give him an endorsement, they were asking for, that after they had given the endorsement, they were asking for, I think at the time he said $400 or something like that. I said, why?
For what?
The visa originally is $50.
Okay.
Even if you want to ask for some extra money, it's okay. Maybe $100, two at the most. $400, like why? I'm like, no, please. And maybe you find another person. That visa was denied because I'm pretty sure maybe when immigrations called them, they say, no, we don't know her because they did not get their $400 or whatever. I said, okay, we go again. Not Tanzania. No. I'm not going to take a no from an African country. No, I'm not going to do that. You know, we applied again, same thing. No. So this time I sat down. I took in a deep breath. I'm like, okay, so how are we going to do this now? And the good Lord spoke to my soul.
Hallelujah.
Preach, pastor. So I went on Instagram, and I mean, it was impressed on my heart. Go on Instagram and look for local tour guides in Tanzania, which I did immediately. And I used that hashtag, and needless to say, a bunch of names.
So you just put local tour
It's
guides.
amazing what social media can do for you in terms of
Like, it just
information.
changes everything.
It does.
So I looked through everything and I
that
found one guy.
hashtag.
I looked at his page. I loved his page. I looked at the face of the guy. I like his face too. So I said, I'll reach out to this guy. He was the only person. I was thinking I'll have to reach out to multiple of them. Then maybe one
whoever
person
responds first.
Yeah. So I reached out to him, introduced myself. I would need, because I saw he was a tour guide, a licensed tour guide. I said, okay, so this is me. I've been applying. I've applied twice. I didn't get it. They want an endorsement from a local. I'm having issues because people are overcharging me. I started talking to him as if I knew him. And he said, it's okay, I'll help you. What would you want me to do? I said, I'll need you to write me a letter, like an endorsement letter, you know, so that I can apply with it. He then said, write the letter as you want it and send it to me. I would sign and put my license number on it, which he did. He didn't ask me for a dime.
Are you serious?
Not a dime.
But was he your tour guide when you got to Tanzania?
Oh, yes.
You met him?
So he was the one who took you to the secret.
He took me everywhere.
So do you have to pay these tour guides? Like, how do you do it?
Yes, typically you do. So for him, the kind of service he operates, he's very organized. There's a PDF, all the stuff you can do in Zanzibar, and their prices next to it.
So you pick and choose
You
your
pick
choices.
and choose, you know.
Okay.
And I mean, many people have reached out to tour guides like that, got the visas, and that was it. They didn't bother with them. I would never do that, never. You know, but he didn't know whether or not I was going to be true to it. But regardless, he did it.
Oh, he's such a good person.
Oh, he's amazing. He's my friend now. We are friends now.
Nice.
You know. So, I mean, that's how it happened. And even this took almost 3 months.
To get visa.
Yes.
So are you
That's Tanzania.
Are you saying that to get visas to like African countries are more difficult?
Yes, they are. Hear that from me. I've been to 63 countries. Only 13 of these countries are African countries.
Wow.
Yes. And you would think I live on the African continent. It should be easier for me. No, it is not. The situation we have, foreigners have an easier access to Africa than we Africans.
Why? But why is that?
Well, for whatever reason, maybe they trust them more than they trust their own people.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because an American, Florence, the lady I was telling you of, she was even complaining. She was like, oh, they made me pay $50 at the airport. I say, and
I
you're
just
complaining.
$50.
Sit down, let me talk. You don't know something. By the time I finished speaking to her, she said, "Oh God, thank you so much for my British passport."
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, "Yes,
Lucky
you really need
you.
to thank God for this."
In all fairness, right? They know that those guys are not coming to stay in their countries.
But I'm not coming to stay in your country.
Yeah, but
why would I want to leave
But do you
Nigeria?
know how many Nigerians
Tanzania?
live in these countries?
Now, this is my
illegally?
thing. This is my thing. You will not take the sin of one man
Yes,
or
to
10
punish
men
every other
and destroy
person.
the remaining 200 million people.
Well, fair
True.
enough.
People stay more in more established countries like the US, the UK. That's where people will want to run to. However, they still give us a fair chance to be heard. Bring your case. Let's see. Okay, we think she's qualified. We don't think she's qualified. And she goes. So all I need, if I need a US visa today, is to apply.
True.
Then I'm going to Tanzania. Then somebody has to endorse me as an African. I just feel a bit.
I think that's a bit too
Yeah,
bureaucratic.
and so it made me feel a certain kind of way, and it removed the pride from my body immediately. I became humble because if you are applying to Africa, don't say I've been around the world. They did it to me. After 51 countries, you deny an African a Tanzanian visa because of what? But because I did not know this at the time, and I felt like I don't travel now. Nobody says no to me. They always give me. I bought my ticket before my application. That ticket till today went down till this today.
Why did you open it?
I opened it, but at the end of the day, you can't open it for more than 1 year.
True.
It was a Kenyan Airways ticket. That ticket, the lifespan of that ticket finished in May. Because I bought that ticket May last year. I was supposed to go to Tanzania May last year. They messed up my entire plans. I paid for hotel. I'd done all of that. It was a big deal to get my money back because it was non-refundable. But I had to explain to them, see what happened before they gave me my money. Okay, the tickets, I couldn't use it again. When I finally got visa in November of that year, because I will not say no, I went back to my Kenyan Airways ticket. Kenya Airways had taken that ticket to over 1 million naira, and it was an economy class ticket. Ticket that I bought at 300 and something K. Then I had to come and pay 1.1 million. My agent just said, "Auntie, it would be nice for you to just buy another ticket and leave that ticket in."
And you couldn't get
to be
it was
cheaper.
not refundable.
It was non-refundable. It was non-refundable.
I'm interested to know. So there's something that I want you to talk about. Something about like affordability. How do you afford these trips? Like, how is it that you plan up front? Is it that you plan up front for the trips and everything? But before we come to that, right? You mentioned that you've been to 63 countries and 50 of which are international countries, while 13 are African countries. So are you saying that as a Nigerian, there's hope for you to like apply to these countries? Because the speculation out there is that because you're in Nigeria, you can't really have access. It's not even easy to travel. A lot of people will say, "Oh, people that have other citizenships or other passports have it easy." But I think now, from what you're saying, it's like there's a ray of hope.
So you
as
see,
a Nigerian,
the people who will tell you more that oh, these visas are hard, they are almost impossible to get. There are people who have never traveled. I would say, do your stuff and pay less attention to the people who will tell you that they are more difficult. Now, if you are qualified for the visa, more often than not, you will get the visa. I do understand that there are situations where some people are qualified and they don't get it. But then, how managed are people still traveling every year? How managed are we still getting full planes within Nigeria? These people are not getting visas. So for me, it's just to try and use the right approach as much as possible. Ask as many questions, especially to those who have traveled before. Do a lot of personal research online, and I think it gets easier. It's only the African countries that are still dicey. It's only them. So
regarding affordability, so how do you do this? Do you plan ahead? Do you invest in funds, or like what do you do? How do you plan your trips?
Okay, first off, getting tickets ahead will save your life.
It's how far ahead?
For me, even as even 3 months is good enough to take your ticket from 800K to 1.5 or 2 million. Even 3 months. 3 months to do that for you. And then the days of the week you book your ticket also matters. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you get the cheapest ticket.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's true.
This information.
It's true.
You said Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes, Tuesdays and Thursdays is cheaper. Then personally, I find that tickets are cheaper in the middle of the night. I don't know why. Yeah. So if you're trying to get a ticket like earlier on in the day and you are seeing those kind of prices that is like, God forbid, if you wait till like midnight going up, the prices drop. For whatever reason, I don't know.
But slash like special prices.
That happens. And then if you're subscribed to a lot of these travel agencies and all those things. Sometimes you're on YouTube, you just get pop-ups.
Oh yes.
Okay.
For instance, going to Lebanon for me, a pop-up cost my going to Lebanon.
Wow.
I was online doing something else, and then I saw a pop-up on non-agents, and I saw ticket 300, and I'm like, that was it.
Okay.
So that happens a lot. When they do sales, they let you know. When there are deals, they let you know. You can also do Sky Miles.
Yeah.
Sky Miles for me,
Yeah.
it did a lot for me. At the time, it was Emirates. So I used to get a lot of upgrades, get tickets cheaper because of your tier level. You can also use your miles to buy tickets, upgrade, and all of that. It really helped me until we fought, and they're not.
So do you do like investments ahead?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
actually. As a matter of fact, you do investments and you plan your funds.
Okay.
So, for instance, maybe you want to take a trip middle of the year. It helps to start putting money together like November, December, depending on your income level. There are people who can just get up and buy their tickets and go. There are others who would have to plan. So if you do this kind of plans, then it makes things a lot easier for you.
Exactly how it works for me too. So travel for me I've always thought about it as a luxurious thing and all that.
It's actually luxurious.
I mean, it is, but it's not as unaffordable as
people
a lot
make
of
it
us
seem.
think.
True.
Yeah.
So for me, how it has really worked for me is like if I know I'm traveling, I don't even know my destination yet, but I know I start to put money aside in my Cordros money market fund.
Yes.
You know, so every month I put something out of my salary, you know, into that fund, and then once I'm ready, once the trip is almost here, I want to book my ticket. I just go there, do a redemption in less than 24 hours. I get my funds, and you know I can pay for my tickets.
That's amazing.
And then I also have something called the Cordros dollar fund.
Okay.
That one, once it's time for the trip, I need dollars, you know, to spend while I'm abroad.
Yeah.
I just go do my redemption and then put it on my card, and then I can spend it abroad. So yeah,
That really helps.
affordability is basically planning.
And then you have to plan
just be
ahead
able to
as well.
plan ahead.
Plan ahead, book your hotels ahead as well. Booking hotels ahead many times can get you sometimes even half price.
Okay.
Last question from me. So what are the untapped destinations that Nigerian passport holders should, you know, seriously start looking into?
The problem now is those untapped places gone, they are now tapping it out. That's the problem. So I mean, I was quickly going to shout, "Oh, Seychelles!"
Oh no!
Oh, it's now difficult to go to Seychelles.
You can't even go anywhere in Nigeria.
Really?
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
They gave us the handbag. Seychelles is unbelievable. The beauty, no picture can. Picture and video is not the same with your eyes. This is what I found out from traveling. So you see a place and it's so amazing. You're like, I really want to go here. When you get there, your mouth will be open.
Wow.
The pictures didn't do it any justice.
Wow.
Seychelles is one of such destinations.
Wow.
It's been such an engaging conversation.
Yes,
Thank you
it
so
has.
much, Bethia.
Thank you. I had a great time.
for coming.
Thank you so much.